Welcome back to another episode of Dugout Debrief. Today, we're going to be going over the St. Louis Cardinals versus Athletics, Sacramento, Oakland, I don't really know. Game 2 of their series that occurred on May 13th, 2026, where the main story of today is Henry Bolte's first career MLB start. Before we get into any of that, I really wanted to kind of preview what exactly this series looks like for both these teams. I think this is a real serious test for the Athletics, proving that they're a contender in the AL West, along with the rest of the American League with how down it is this year. And the Cardinals have sort of proven themselves up to this point as contenders in the National League. Can they keep it up? They took Game 1, 6-4. They had contributions from all their different star guys. And are we still looking at a team in the NL Central that will be competing at the end of the year? Can they continue this dominance? So, today, hopefully, we're able to answer some of those questions in this debrief. And it starts with the story of the day, Henry Bolte's MLB debut, where he records his first career hit. Actually has 2 hits on the day, along with his first RBI and a walk, keeping his on-base percentage at 1,000 on the season. But he's really just a speed guy. We saw in his first at-bat, kind of hit one pretty hot at Nolan Gorman on the third base side. And then in his second hit, he was able to kind of lay out an infield single. But that speed is definitely present on a lot of his defensive plays and obviously on the base paths. He was a guy that the A's front office really liked and wanted to get him up as soon as possible. So, with the absence of Lawrence Butler, I think that he's going to be a real statement piece now moving forward, hopefully for this Athletics team now that they brought him up. There's a lot of young talent kind of just swimming throughout both these teams in this series with the likes of, J.J. Weatherholt on the Cardinals side, Mason Wynn as well, Nick Kurtz, even Jordan Walker, still a young talent technically. He's only 23 still. So much young talent on both these teams. Super cool to see these guys getting the playing time and performing at a level that they need to produce in this league. Staying on topic with J.J. Weatherholt, being that special young talent for the Cardinals team, I thought that he's had a great start to the season. Power numbers being up, OPS just below 800. He's not exactly, he's kind of slowed down a little bit towards this part of the season. And it brings up an interesting topic to where so many people have been so high on J.J. Weatherholt up to this point. And look around the league, it's kind of, there's a lot of different younger guys, talents that are outperforming the likes of J.J. Weatherholt right now. But a guy that kind of pops up that has similar-ish stats and is even younger than him is Connor Griffin from NL Central foe, Pittsburgh Pirates, who's got a similar batting average. On-base percentage is right around the same. The OPS for Connor Griffin's a little bit a few clicks down from what J.J. Weatherholt's got, but Weatherholt is 3 years older than Connor Griffin. And so it's kind of crazy to think that, obviously we're talking about Weatherholt as a young talent, which he definitely is. Connor Griffin's still really starting to pick things up since after his super, super slow start. His power numbers are coming up. He's getting on base. He's playing pretty good defense at shortstop for the Pirates as well. So something to keep in mind for this ever-emerging NL Central and that Pirates team that just continues to lurk. Nonetheless, Weatherholt has a good game and gets 2 hits. But another key piece of this game was Nick Kurtz on the other side of the ball. Hits that grand slam. He's been an on-base monster this year. Batting average sits right around 267, but his on-base is at 418. He had that really long walk streak, which was around 20 games getting a walk in every single game, which is, I think it was tied Barry Bonds' record for amount of games. And Barry Bonds, nonetheless, he was a great hitter, one of the greatest hitters of all time. Might be the greatest hitter of all time, in my opinion. But a lot of those walks came from intentional walks back in the day, and Nick Kurtz is doing it just solely based off of these real at bats. So he's an impressive hitter, getting on base at a great clip, and his power numbers have been a little bit down since from last year. Where he hit 36 bombs. He's got 6 on the year and has a grand slam in this game, which really propelled them forward and kind of changed the course of the entire game as a whole. He's such a special talent in the middle of this A's lineup and will be getting a contract here very soon. Another really special talent on the Cardinals lineup is Jordan Walker. Great year up to this point. Racked up 2.5 B WAR, which is crazy. Hitting a 290 batting average, slugging 555. OPS hits right under 1,000. 11 home runs, ton of RBIs. You'd like to see the strikeouts go down. He's already racked up 50 on the year, which is not great playing in 41 games. But he's going to be... He didn't have a great game today, but I don't think he's going to taper off anytime soon. He plays great defense out in the outfield. Huge guy. Really cool to see him start to really get things going after some lackluster couple years in the last few years. And he's only 23 years old. Turns 24, or he's 24 now. No, he turned 24 in a few days. So if I'm a Cardinals fan, I'm really excited about the direction this team's heading in. I'm just going to continue going down the list of guys that can mash on this Cardinals lineup, and that next one is Alec Burleson. Last few years, he's hovered right around 270 batting average, hitting at a clip of around 800 OPS. Last year being his best year so far, 290, 1.8 B WAR, and is really going to be a statement piece in this lineup moving forward. I think his power numbers are a little bit up this year so far. He's got 6 home runs, up in a sense of comparing to what he's been so far in his last few years. But he plays a good brand of defense over at first base for the St. Louis Cardinals team. You even saw it. I think it was the Dodgers series. There was a kind of bang short ground ball play at first base where I think the pitcher had to go cover, or maybe it was him. He had a nice little diving tag the base in at first base. So cool to see him starting to continue to hit for this team. Excuse me, that was the series against the Brewers that Burleson had that nice play. But nonetheless, great player over at first base, especially defensively. Moving on over to the Athletics side of the game. Colby Thomas has a 2-hit day. Haven't seen much of him this year. Only appeared in 10 games, but he's been hitting at a nice rate. Has a home run. OPS sitting around 900. Hopefully he can continue this streak. He's been, in the short time we've seen him, really good. But the main piece here that we're talking about, on the season for the Athletics at least, he didn't have a great game today. Kind of see that in both sides from Jordan Walker and this guy. But Shea Langoliers, he is just another name added to this long list of all-star catchers this year, whether it be in the National League or the American League. He's really making a case to be the number one guy in the American League this year behind home plate. And he's just completely mashing baseball right now. He's got 52 hits already on the year, 2.2 B WAR, hitting a 330 batting average clip, 1,000 OPS, slugging at a 624. He plays really good defense behind home plate. Framing obviously is a little bit low, but that's kind of a lost art nowadays. And a lot of these modern day catchers, pop times in the 97th percentile, blocks above average, 92nd percentile. He's an above average defensive catcher, and he's mashing baseball. Also a sneaky fast guy. We've seen him really behind the plate, or at the plate at least, kind of just level up in the last few years, going from 738 OPS to 861 OPS to now 1,000 on the season OPS up to this point. You even see it in his power numbers. He's got 12 already on this year. He had 29 home runs in 2024 and 31 in 2025. Another guy that the Athletics are probably going to have to sign a contract to. You see a lot of these different catchers getting some money nowadays, and if he's mashing baseballs like this and continuing to do it at the rate that he is, he's going to have to get paid. And the Athletics probably should be paying him. JT Ginn, pitcher for the Athletics, had a nice day on the mound. He's not really a strikeout guy, pitches to weaker contact. Give up 9 hits today on 0 earned runs, technically. So the whip is going to kind of increase there. And 6 innings pitched, but ERA has been good so far this year. hovering right around a 3. But he's kind of one of those guys that you don't really know what his future will look like as far as success, because his strikeouts to walk ratio isn't great. He's walked a lot of guys and not really getting a lot of strikeouts. His whip kind of up. FIP is also up at 4.2. I think hopefully, he is able to find his stride and continue to strike out a little bit more guys and pitch to weak contact. But sometimes that's hard in this league when you're trying to get through that third round of the lineup and they start to figure out a little bit. And so you're not going to see him going really deep in games, but can definitely be a shorter stint kind of guy for this Athletics team, and will still be a big part of that rotation. So after that Nick Kurtz grand slam, there are a few opportunities. I think Jordan Walker had 2 on, 2 outs, and he ended up striking out. So there's a few opportunities for the Cardinals, but after that grand slam, it kind of was a chalk for the Athletics to take home this game, 6-2. They even up the series between this Cardinals team with the rubber match coming on the 14th, which is today, with a pitching matchup between Michael McGreevy and Jacob Lopez. So I'm expecting the Cardinals to take home the win in this one. Michael McGreevy's been phenomenal for this Cardinals team up to this point, keeping that ERA at right around a 2.1 right now, which is unreal. He's also not really a strikeout guy, and his velo isn't really up there, but he can really just locate the pill and find different ways to get guys out on the diamond. One last thing that I kind of wanted to touch on was just kind of going to give some appreciation to the A's front office for kind of sticking with it, especially after this lineup has been pretty dang good to start this year, and there's a lot of these young names emerging for this team and are a real contender in the AL West. They continue to play like this. They're doing this all at a minor league facility, sharing with the AAA affiliate of the San Francisco Giants. They got to get that figured out, because I think they're here the next 2 years in Sacramento, and it's just not a good look if you're having a contender like the A's in the AL West, where they could be playing playoff games from this minor league stadium. But props to the front office is sticking with it. Obviously, you want to get that whole stadium thing figured out and bring baseball back either to Oakland, but they're eventually going to be moving to Las Vegas. So, but nice to see this young emerging talent really make strides in this American League. All right, so that's pretty much going to do it for this episode of Dugout Debrief, game between the St. Louis Cardinals and what we call them, Sacramento or Las Vegas Athletics. Not really sure, but exciting rubber match coming up on May 14th today between these two teams, and I do expect the Cardinals to take home the win with Michael McGreevy on the mound. He's been such a great piece for them up to this point. But who knows? Maybe this A's offense can get something brewing. But yeah, any feedback or teams you'd like me to see, or any different ideas that you want me to cover, please let me know down below. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for listening.